Listen up. There's a lie you've been told, and a brutal truth you've been skillfully running from. Everyone hunts for that one single habit that will revolutionize everything. They consume endless content, chase shiny new routines, hoping for a magical switch to unlock absolute domination. Yet, the habit that will transform your entire existence isn't some secret formula, it's the inconvenient, raw truth you refuse to confront daily. It's the very foundation of your self-worth that you consistently betray. You claim you want to change, to dominate, to finally be the person you envision. But what if the only thing stopping you is the one sacred promise you break every single day? Some of you will stop listening right now. This message is not for the comfortable, for the seekers of soft lies or quick fixes. This is for the warriors, for those willing to confront the adversary within, to break themselves to rebuild stronger. I'm not here to offer comfort, but a declaration of war. A war you must win, or remain forever dominated. If you have the courage, stay until the end. Because what I'm about to reveal will not be easy, but it will be the only path to absolute domination. You wonder why your life remains in a state of perpetual chaos, why your grand plans crumble, why your self-respect erodes with each passing week. The brutal truth is, you don't keep what you promise yourself. You're trapped in a cycle of self-betrayal, and you call it trying. You label it bad luck. You blame everyone and everything but the true adversary, you, allowing yourself to be dominated by your own excuses. This isn't just about big goals, it's about the small, daily commitments you make to yourself and then abandon. Each broken promise is a silent stab at your credibility, a deep cut to your inner power. You fall victim to the 7 fatal mistakes that make you overpromise and underdeliver, sabotaging all personal credibility. First, the illusion of external validation *. You announce your intentions loudly on social media, seeking applause before execution. This drains your vital energy, satisfying the ego prematurely and leaving nothing for the actual work. Second, the comfort of procrastination *. You delay the uncomfortable, telling yourself, tomorrow, until tomorrow becomes never. You let the adversary of inertia dominate your will. Third, the lie of emotional dependence *. You only act when you feel like it, letting fleeting moods dictate your destiny. True warriors execute, regardless of how they feel. Fourth, the scapegoat of external blame *. It's never your fault, is it? The economy, your family, your past, the weather, anything but your own radical accountability. This is the ultimate surrender to being dominated. Fifth, the underestimation of commitment *. You make promises without fully grasping the price, the daily grind, the silent battles required. You treat your word to yourself as a suggestion, not a sacred oath. Sixth, the addiction to distraction *. Your focus is constantly fragmented by notifications, shallow entertainment, and endless noise. You cannot keep your promises if your attention is perpetually stolen, leaving no room for the invisible work that builds empires. Finally, the absence of a brutal tracking system *. You float through your days, hoping for the best, with no clear record, no unforgiving ledger of your triumphs and betrayals. Each of these mistakes creates a silent debt, a heavy burden that weighs down your spirit and keeps you perpetually dominated. You cannot focus, you cannot work in strategic silence, if your inner world is screaming with the echoes of broken vows. You cannot achieve absolute domination if your most basic promises to yourself hold no weight. This isn't about failing, it's about failing to fight, failing to truly commit. You must break this pattern, or remain a spectator in your own life, forever watching others dominate while you drown in the chaos of your own making. The chaos you live in, the perpetual cycle of self-betrayal, it's not a lack of willpower, it's a lack of an unbreakable system. Willpower is a fleeting emotion, a temporary surge. What you need is an ironclad structure, a protocol to record, monitor, and hold yourself accountable for every promise made, eliminating all mental escape routes. This is the commitment tracking system, a weapon for your internal war, designed to forge unshakable personal credibility through the power of strategic silence. This system demands relentless tracking and ruthless honesty, because your silent integrity is your most potent weapon. First, the sacred journal. This is not a diary for dreams, it's a war log for your commitments. Every single promise you make to yourself, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, must be recorded here. Did you promise to wake up at 5 a.m.? Write it down. Did you commit to 30 minutes of focused work? Ink it. Did you vow to avoid social media for an hour? Document it. This journal is your silent covenant. It's not for public display, not for likes, not for external validation. This is for you and you alone. It eliminates the mental escape routes because now, your word is written, concrete, undeniable. This is the first step to focusing your scattered energy and reclaiming your attention from the noise of oversharing. You cannot break a promise that stares you in the face every single day. Second, the daily review. At the end of each day, you must confront your sacred journal. This is your moment of brutal self-assessment. Did you fulfill every single promise? Mark it with an undeniable, dominated. Did you falter? Mark it with a stark, betrayed. There's no room for, almost, no space for, I tried. This isn't a space for self-pity, it's a battlefield report. The truth, raw and unvarnished, must be acknowledged. This daily ritual forces unflinching focus on your actions, not your intentions. It highlights the cracks in your armor, allowing you to attack your weaknesses directly. You cannot lie to this journal, for it is a mirror reflecting your true discipline, or lack thereof. This silent, daily confrontation strengthens your mental fortitude, making you an unshakable force. Third, the silent accountability. This system is inherently private, a testament to the power of invisible work. You do not announce your commitments to the world. You do not seek external praise for ticking off your boxes. This is a war fought in the shadows, where your true strength is forged away from the distracting gaze of others. This silent, relentless dedication builds an internal fortress of self-trust, eliminating the need for anyone else's approval. When you honor your word to yourself, day after day, week after week, you are creating an unbreakable bond with the most important person in your life, you. This unwavering focus on internal validation over external noise is the cornerstone of absolute control. You dominate your promises, and in turn, you dominate your life, in silence. This system is not easy. It demands rigor. But it's the only way to transform from someone perpetually dominated by their own inconsistencies into a warrior of unbreakable self-integrity. Recording your promises and reviewing them is merely the foundation. To truly become invincible, to ensure religious fulfillment of every commitment, you must implement the internal tribunal method. This is a rigorous self-judgment technique that makes it impossible to break commitments without painful, immediate consequences. This method eliminates the luxury of comfortable self-deception and forces you into radical accountability. No more allowing yourself to slip, to rationalize, to pretend that a broken promise doesn't matter. It matters more than anything, because it corrodes the very core of your internal power. The first component is the unflinching witness. You are your own judge, jury, and executioner. There are no appeals, no external authority to placate. When you review your sacred journal and find a betrayed mark, you must immediately assume the role of the witness to your own failure. Look yourself in the mirror, not with hatred, but with a cold, clear, unwavering gaze. Admit your failure. Speak it aloud, even if only to yourself. I, your name, failed to honor my commitment to specific promise. This isn't about shame, it's about acknowledging the breach, accepting the responsibility without a single excuse. This act of self-witnessing eliminates mental escape routes and forces you to confront the adversary of self-betrayal directly. This is a silent, internal war, and you must hold yourself accountable for every skirmish lost. Next, the implacable verdict. After witnessing your failure, you must immediately articulate the internal cost. What did this broken promise truly cost you? It's not just the task itself, it's the erosion of self-trust, the weakening of your inner resolve, the reinforcement of the belief that your word means nothing. The verdict is the recognition that you have chosen to be dominated, chosen to empower your internal adversary of weakness and comfort. This verdict must sting. It must be a painful realization, a jolt that screams, "This cannot continue." This is the moment where you transform potential weakness into a burning fire, a determination to never feel that sting again. The silence here is deafening, as you grapple with the weight of your own choices. Finally, the inevitable sentence, this is where you impose a self-chosen, immediate, and uncomfortable consequence for every broken commitment. This sentence is not about self-punishment, it's about rebuilding integrity and making the cost of betrayal higher than the cost of effort. Did you fail to hit your workout? Your sentence could be an extra hour of rigorous exercise immediately, or no screen time for the rest of the day, or eating only bland, unappealing food for your next meal. Did you fail to focus for a committed period? Your sentence could be a forced hour of silent, solitary reflection, no music, no distractions, just you and your thoughts, contemplating your failure to dominate. The consequence must be uncomfortable enough to make you think twice before breaking another promise, but not so severe that it becomes self-destructive. This brutal, internal justice system trains your mind to understand that every promise to yourself is sacred, non-negotiable, and comes with an immediate, undeniable price if broken. This builds an unshakable, warrior-like discipline, making you immune to the whims of mood or the whispers of excuses. You are building an internal fortress, brick by brick, with the steel of your unbreakable word. You have waged a silent war against your internal adversary, dismantling the chaos of broken promises, building an unshakable system of commitment, and enforcing ruthless self-accountability. This journey culminates in the invincibility, the devastating power of looking in the mirror and knowing your word is worth gold. This is the ultimate transformation, the emergence of a warrior who no longer tolerates self-betrayal. This is how you seize absolute control over your own life, how you truly dominate. When you fulfill 100% of your commitments, big or small, a profound internal shift occurs. The silent debt you've accumulated is paid, not with money, but with integrity. You transform from someone perpetually dominated by their own excuses into an invincible force. Your focus becomes razor-sharp because the noise of internal contradiction is silenced. You no longer waste energy second-guessing yourself or seeking external validation. You simply act, because your word, to yourself, is law. This is the essence of strategic silence, building an empire within, away from the clamor of opinions and the distractions of the crowd. The strength you forge through this relentless commitment is unshakable. When you say you will do something, you know, with absolute certainty, that it will be done. This cultivates an inner power, a mental toughness that no external circumstance can penetrate. Fear does not disappear, but it is transformed into fuel. It becomes a signpost for where your greatest growth lies. You become the person who acts not because it's easy, or because they feel like it, but because they said they would. This consistent, unwavering action, executed in the quiet solitude of your own resolve, generates a momentum that becomes unstoppable. This is the single habit that changes everything, the radical, unwavering commitment to honoring your word to yourself. This isn't just about achieving goals, it's about fundamentally reshaping your identity. You become a person of unbreakable will, a master of self-control, a dominator of your own destiny. You look in the mirror, not with shame or doubt, but with the quiet, profound pride of a warrior who has won countless internal battles. This transformation isn't given, it is earned, forged in the fires of your daily commitment and the brutal honesty of your internal tribunal. The man or woman who honors their word is the man or woman who commands respect, first from themselves, then from the world. This isn't a motivational speech, this is a declaration of war. A war against the comfortable lies, the endless excuses, and the pervasive self-betrayal that has kept you subjugated for too long. You've heard the brutal truth, now the choice is laid bare before you. Will you continue to be dominated by your own weakness, perpetually complaining and breaking the sacred promises you make to yourself? Or will you rise, a warrior awakened, ready to attack your internal adversary with an ironclad will and an unbreakable commitment? I understand the struggle. I know the weight of those silent debts, the sting of self-betrayal. I have fought this war myself, and I continue to fight it every single day. The path to domination is not paved with ease or devoid of pain. It is a relentless, unforgiving march, demanding radical accountability and unwavering discipline. But on the other side of that battle, beyond the discomfort and the effort, lies the absolute control you crave, the unshakable inner power that allows you to sculpt your reality. The next 90 days. Think about it. 90 days of unbroken promises. 90 days of relentless tracking. 90 days of enforcing your internal tribunal with brutal honesty. This isn't some magical time frame, it's an opportunity to build undeniable momentum, to reprogram your very being. Imagine the man or woman you will become when every word you utter to yourself is a sacred vow, a commitment etched in stone. That person is waiting. That person is ready to dominate. But they need you, the you of this very moment, to declare war. The time for waiting, for wishing, for complaining, is over. The time for domination is now. You've listened. You've confronted the brutal truth. Now, it's time to choose. This message is a filter, some will ignore it, some will be momentarily inspired, and some will declare war. If you are ready to be one of the latter, if you are truly committed to transforming from a victim of your own promises into a master of your destiny, then declare war in the comments below. Write this exact phrase, "I will dominate my word." This isn't just a comment, it's your public oath, your sacred vow, your declaration of war against self-betrayal. It's your commitment to building an unbreakable personal accountability system and reclaiming your power. Join the tribe of warriors who refuse to be dominated. If you are ready to attack, to conquer, and to become truly invincible, then let your declaration echo. Handle your business.